Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to look at developing the cover page as well as developing a problem or purpose paragraph and the introduction to our research paper. The first, developing a cover page, as you can see here, you want to put the title. We want to follow whatever the rubric says. And in the rubric, it says our cover page will include the title of our project. So this sample project I'm using is insect repellents, and I'm placing it in parentheses. Also, I want to put my name underneath the title. For students, you will put your name, the student's first and last name. For the sample, I wrote my first and last name. And finally, the third part of the cover page or title page is the period. Which class period you have science. So I put period 1 for this sample. If your class period is period 2 or 3, go ahead and write period 2 or 3. Do not abbreviate, simply write out the word. The next thing we will do is we will move on to making sure that we follow the writer's guide format. And the writer's guide says that this paper should be written in 12-point font. So if you follow my cursor or mouse, I made sure it was a 12-point font. Also, the font style or type should be Times New Roman. You may have to actually go down and search for Times New Roman if it's not saved as one of your recently used fonts. Then you want to double space. To double space, we can go to our alignment tool in the toolbox and select 2.0. That will give us double spacing. Now, the next thing we want to do is make sure our cursor is below that particular title part. And you're going to go ahead and select Insert and insert a page break. What this will do is make sure that our project, the first part, which is the problem or purpose, will start one page after our cover or title page. So go ahead and insert that page break. That will bring you down to a new page. On this page, I would like for you to type in purpose/problem. This is the first step of the scientific method, is to develop a problem or question that you plan to do a project on. So we're going ahead and putting this down, labeling it so we know this is the first step of the scientific method. Okay, I'm going to underline in bold just so I know that this is the title of the step, and we're going to click enter and of course begin typing a paragraph. I have a sample paragraph typed already. When we look at the rubric, it says the research has a proper introduction. There should be a purpose behind the problem. If you don't have a reason for doing the project, then it's not really worth doing. So the project that I developed for this sample is based around the problem of insects bothering people during camping. As an attention getter, you can use certain things like a short story, a quote, a quotation, maybe an interesting fact or statistic, or even a question that will grab the attention of the audience to help get them thinking about your topic, of course. For my attention getter, I've written down a kind of combination of an interesting statement and how it is needed or necessary for my project. While camping is gaining in popularity, there is an even greater demand to keep away those pesky little critters like ants, bees, wasps, and other insects. These pests swarm to the sites for a variety of reasons and continue to annoy campers. In hopes of having a more enjoyable camping experience, the purpose of this project is to find which types of natural repellents work the best in keeping insects and critters out of the campsite. So, which natural product will work best in keeping out that little pest? Now you can see that the purpose is actually written as the purpose. This is to ensure that I'm writing a purpose. Okay, and I would recommend that you do the same. It involves my question or problem, and that question or problem is which types of repellents will work best in keeping the insects out. I even restated the problem, which natural product will work best in keeping out that little pest. This is to introduce what I will be researching. So this paragraph that we just made for the purpose or problem is actually going to be our introduction paragraph for our research paper. All I have to do is push copy and paste, and now I have my introduction paragraph done and the problem or purpose. So hopefully this saved you a little bit of time with your introduction paragraph. The next important thing that we want to look at is the actual research. So in order to understand research, we have to understand a little bit about how to go about writing a research paper. The first thing we want to do is have a problem or question. Okay, what products are the best at repelling bugs, insects, and mosquitoes? Those are the things that are bothering me. That's my problem. So I want to research some information about this. When I begin researching, you need to think about what are some questions that you or someone else may have about this topic. Okay? One question that someone may have is, what is a repellent? I don't know. Maybe someone doesn't know what a repellent actually is or what that word actually means. Okay, what items attract insects and why would this information be important? If you know what attracts the insect, then maybe those are some things that you can avoid happening in your campsite. Some other information. What are some main ingredients or components of a bug or insect repellent? Okay, knowing these main ingredients, looks like there's a spelling error. Repellent. Knowing these main ingredients will help you to better understand which repellents, of course, keep insects away the best, because you could look for the repellent containing the most of those particular ingredients. And finally, what do insects or bugs eat? Again, when you gather some background information about insects and bugs and ants, it will help you to better understand how to keep them away. So you're building your background knowledge to make a research-based hypothesis for this project. Moving on to the next page. When you're gathering the information about your topic, make sure you use the internet or books or encyclopedias, interviews, etc. But you want to make sure that the information you're gathering is relevant. It needs to have something to do with your topic. In other words, if I'm trying to repel insects out of camping, I wouldn't want to research information about camping because that's not going to help me to understand how to keep insects out of a campsite. I want to research information about insects and how to keep them away. The other thing when you're researching information and you're gathering information from these different resources, internet seems to be very popular, but we want to make sure the sites that we are using are helpful sites. We want to avoid using sites by a particular company that might be trying to sell a product. They may give you a statistic that is not reliable, or it may be manipulated in a way that the statistic sounds like their product is the best. Also, interviews should be done by actual professionals. If you're going to use an interview, it should be done by someone who has used the product several times and has already done some background information or research on that product. don't interview your friend and count that as a resource, because that would not be a valid resource. Finally, when you are gathering information from these different resources, make sure that you are including important information like the author's name, the publishing date, uh, and any page that you got it from, or article, the website, the URL address, so that you can add that information to your works cited bibliography or reference page when you are ready to type your reference page for this research paper. Well, I hope that helped you with understanding how to start your research paper. Have a good day.